Powered by Riverside.
Okay. Awesome. All right.
Powered by Riverside.
And we are live on video right now. Okay. Okay, guys, it's Jez Perez here, and I want to say thank you again and again and again and again and again. And it is Thrive Tuesday session. It is part number 2 of Persuasion Skills to upskill and to level up. And you know what I love about this part of the series is that every time we go through this Thrive Tuesday session, that we're not only that we're growing, we're learning, we're expanding, but we're also upskilling ourselves. And it's just an opportunity for me to touch base with everyone. And I trust that you guys are all safe and well. And I'm just excited about Thrive Tuesday. And it's just been phenomenal. And guys, I just want to give you a good news in the Thrive Tribe, in our community here at the Action Takers Group. And Motivation Without the Hype has been listed top 10 in the Australian Inspirational Podcast. Listed at 10, but it's in top 20. So I am super grateful. I can't even speak English. That's how excited I am that we reached this milestone. And now being in a podcast show, within 7 months in has been phenomenal. We've got fantastic guests who provided so much value. So thanks to all the guests who are on the show, on the podcast, and all the supporters, particularly in this group. Guys, Action Take is all about taking action, and I'm super grateful to add, insights and tips and tricks and principles so you can level up in life and in business to thrive in what you do. So, before we get started, let's do our intro and let's get it started. Okay, guys, so we start in part number 2 of a 5-part series all about persuasion skills. Now, guys, on the link, there's also provided a persuasion skills workbook that you can utilize. Now, I always encourage everyone when you go through these series is we got to take action, right? Without really taking notes and putting a deadline date. So please, if you haven't yet, please, I'm just telling you right now, it's awesome. It's a workbook of persuasion skills that is actually covering all 5 part of this series. So every Tuesday, you can always put this workbook up and you're able to add some notes. And again, like in the notes section, there are 3 things that I normally do. Number 1 is I write out what really resonates with me through insights. Number 2 is I put a priority, what's important to me to take action. And number 3, on the third column is, putting those deadline dates, that I need to take action, which is really important because if you don't write things down, it's just a mere wish. It's just up in the air that nothing's gonna get taken action of. So I want to talk about persuasion and how persuasion is really really important, right? And persuasion is a learned skill. I say it again, it's a learned skill, and it's not just about it's not manipulation. Okay, so persuasion is not manipulation at all, but it's there's a principle that I always say to all my clients and to everyone that listens to me on the podcast show or whether it's in webinars, events, is that seek to understand and to be understood, right? And that's one of the keys towards persuasion is seeking to understand and not to be understood. And so many times we want to be understood first. We want to put our point across first. However, in order for us to have influence and for us to build rapport instantly, then we need to build that bridge, right, of persuasion, which is connection, which is, it's understanding, the person. And so it's not just about convincing other people, but it's also seeing what they see, what you see, right? And and the five reasons why we need, persuasion to, to improve our communication skills, to improve, the things that we do in our business, or to improve our career, is the power of persuasion is to get them to see what we see. And again, utilizing the principle of seek to understand then to be understood. And one of the power benefits is, you're able to influence other people. With this type of skill trait, you're able to progress in your career. In this skill trait, you're able to do great negotiation, provide solution through persuasion, right? And another point is you build that sense of authority and that voice, right? When you have that skills of persuasion, when either you're doing a sales process, or you're doing a presentation, or you're walking through with a client, whatever it may be, or talking to that, a conversation, persuasion is a must. Now, if you got kids, they're great persuaders. Not only that, they're great negotiators. I mean, they're able to plant a seed, and next thing you know it, if they want something in Kmart, or they want something Big W, or they want something in Toymate, they plant a seed, and they're really persistent. I'm telling you right now, they win, right? So they're not only good at persuasion and influence, but man, they're a really great negotiator. And so, yeah, always to get your voice be heard. One of the things is to become like a leader in persuasion. And also, it empowers you as well. When you have that skill trait, you're able to not only have persuasion, not manipulation, but it's going to elevate you in terms of how you can better your skill in personal development as well as influence, right? And one of the missing things in really to level up in your life is personal branding and influence, and the underpinning through influence is persuasion. So today I really want to talk about in part number two is, about how you can boost, your persuasion skills, right? And you're probably wondering, what is exactly is persuasion? Well, persuasion is an act of conversing with someone else to either believe or do something. It also means to convince, to act or believe something. And that means that when you are having a conversation and you got conviction, right? And you've got confidence in what you say, that actually helps with your persuasion, right? So persuasion is an act of conversing with someone to make them believe and persuade them and their decisions, right? And particularly in sales, in a sales conversation, persuasion is one of the skills that you need to have as well. It's going to help you to reach your goals and your aspirations and your dreams when you have the type of skills. And if you want to further your career, negotiation, persuasion, communication all play in effect in your progression in your career or even in your business as well, because you need that trait. So effective persuasion is to really look at, how you can converse with people who have objections. Now, how many of us have we experienced a lot of objections? How many of us have experienced where we don't get things in our way because of some certain conversations where you don't get to align what they see because we miss that. And so this is where we need to have that principle, like I said before, is seek to understand, then to be understood. And so when you're in a conversation to seek to understand and to be understood, then your persuasion skills starts to play an effect, which is really important because you start to talk through, right? And you start to see things in a different perspective, particularly in persuasions. And the other skill as well, point number two, is you got to be clear about your goals, right? In persuasion is what are you going to come into that game plan, right? And so with persuasion, it brings you confidence. It's all about confidence, but it's that clarity as well that plays an effect. And you need to pair that together because that is a perfect recipe for persuasive conversation that really produces results. So when you have confidence and you have clarity, right, and you bind that together, that gives you that persuasion of conversation, right? And again, like I said, it's not about manipulation. It's all about persuasion. It's all about, how I can actually persuade into their buying decision if it's in sales, or if I was to further, get a buy-in to, that I'm dealing with. How do I get their buy-in? Is how do I get them to see what I see? And persuasion. That's why you got to be clear, concise with your communication, right? To eliminate confusion, right? So I don't want to rhyme because I start to feel like I'm rapping here, right? But you got to be clear with your goals, with your persuasion. And there are a couple of techniques that we'll share with you on the next part. But these are the things that we need to keep in mind. And I believe that, through this understanding, what persuasion is and the capacity about what it is, it's going to help you grow as a person. So this covers everything in this short snippet of Persuasion part series. And by the way, we are in production in producing into these videos as well as a audio as well. So probably in the next couple of days or so, you will see in the podcast show we're gonna have 5-part videos, 5-part audio series included as well, and it's gonna be bundled together. So that's a heads up for everyone. Look, if you are wanting to redo the videos again, you can always replay back live on this video feed on the Action Takers group. Otherwise, it's going to be on the audio series, including the video on YouTube. So that's going to be there as well. So, guys, I trust that you continue to, you know, continue to thrive in life and continue to always develop yourself. And like I said before, the greatest asset or the greatest investment really is personal development. And so I thank you that you guys are watching here to up level in terms of your skill set, really empower your mindset to take action to level up. So, guys, thank you so much. And tell yourself that I can, I will, and I must. And we'll see you again next week on a Thrive Tuesday session, part number 3 of Persuasion Skills.